Stories are a powerful thing. They can bring people together or tear them apart. That's what I've always believed anyway. The best way to truly unite people behind a message is by using a story. Stories can really inspire people. They can inspire a person to become the greatest version of themselves. I've been at work as a journalist for a good while now, and if there's one thing I've learned in this job is that everyone has a story to tell. Everyone and everything. You walk down the street and you see a tree and you think to yourself, if that tree could talk, imagine the stories it could tell. And that's why I'm here, to tell my story. My name is Jay Green, and this is my story. Why did I choose to become a writer? That's a good question. I'd say I too was inspired. As a kid, I always loved reading stories about heroes and knights and dragons and witches and demons. And, I look back at the work of some of the history's greatest writers like Stan Lee, C.S. Lewis, F. Scott Fitzgerald. Those guys were able to take their talent for writing and use it to create entire worlds, civilizations. And I thought, why can't I do that too? I want to be able to do that. And here I am. Being a writer to me is an art. It's always been a way for me to help express my true self, the side that hardly anyone really sees. When I'm writing, I feel like I can truly just let my emotions and my imagination explode. That's probably an interesting fact about me. I was born with a very unique sense of imagination. I have a very vivid imagination. I can see my entire storylines playing out in my head, so I know exactly how I want to direct the storyline when I'm writing. And that, to me, is amazing. And I've always loved writing. Not to mention, it's a stress reliever. I'd have to say that, truth be told, it'd be my number one hobby. So, I'd say that's why I'm a writer. To truly just be able to express myself and to let my imagination explode. Not to mention, I always thought that if those guys can do it, I should be able to do it as well. What acts as my inspiration for my writings? Hmm. Well, that's a very good question. I'd say my inspiration would be life, I guess. I should probably explain that a bit further. When I mean life, I mean people. I've been alive for 22 years, so, you know, while I haven't been on this earth as much as most people that I know, I've still seen my fair share of stuff, and I gotta tell you, what I've seen is amazing. Communities of people coming together, uh, living together in perfect harmony, despite the fact that they all share different differences, but they can meet in the middle to still form a bond. People living together, laughing, loving, working together towards a common goal that is greater than themselves as individuals. And sure, there are a lot of they get into fights, they get into disagreements, but at the end of the day, they still learn to come back together as one. And to me, that's amazing. It's it's honestly just beautiful. And I've been a part of communities like that, and it's just amazing to see what people will do for each other and can do for each other. Also, I have been told, and quite frankly, if you can ask anyone who knows this about me, I am a very gigantic nerd. Like, I'm a very big nerd. Like, anything from DC to Marvel to Game of Thrones, Star Wars, I know about all of it. You know? And that's honestly what acted as another part of my inspiration for my work. I've always read about heroes like Batman, Superman, Captain America, Spider Man. Heroes like that are what led to the inspiration of a lot of my work. And not to mention, I've drawn some inspiration from anime as well, from characters like Goku and Naruto, and even some new ones like Goju or Sung Jinwoo. All of this comes together into what I made. The message that I would want people to receive from my books is honestly a message that a few friends of mine in college tried to teach me, but I was still wrapped up in my own problems and my own self. But it was, you're not alone. You know, this world is beautiful, but I understand, and I'd be a fool to not recognize it myself, but this world is also filled with a lot of darkness, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain. And people go through pain. A lot of people go through pain on a daily basis. And they'll think that they're alone in their pain. They're alone with this hurt. But I want to say to them through my work that you are not alone. That person sitting on your right, he's probably going through the same thing that you're going through. That person on your left, she's probably going through the same thing that you're also going through. You know, I want people to look to read my books and to know that they are not alone. Because the characters that I make in my books, yeah, they are strong, they're powerful, but they also go through their own version of pain and hurt and loss and challenges, and they still find a way to get back up and to become the best versions of themselves. I want people to know that you are not alone. You can still become the best of you. And you know, there are a lot of things that happen to a lot of people, a lot of bad things that happen to a lot of people. But at the end of the day, you can still live. You can still get back up and become strong. That is what I want people to realize through my work. Even though you weren't born with disadvantage or you're going through this very hurtful period in your life, you can still get back up and still become stronger. I've had to learn that lesson the hard way myself. Everyone I know may also know that I'm a nerd, but they've also seen me at some of my very lowest points. And if it wasn't for them, I honestly probably would have never gotten up at all. Ever. I probably would have stayed down for the rest of my life. My books, my own stories that I wrote, showed me that I was capable of doing that. And if they can do it for me, I'd be willing to bet that they can do it for you as well. What do I feel when I write? Hmm, it's a good question. I'd say what I feel is free, I guess. And by free I mean I I've lived in a pretty rough life as it is. Especially my early life, I grew up with some serious self-esteem issues. I always felt like I was never good enough or I was never gonna make it, especially not to the point right now. And sometimes I never even thought I'd make it to 22. The age of 22 shocked me the day I actually turned this age. But in the world I created, I was able to create this world and go into it. And I was able to gain confidence, a sense of power, a sense of belonging, I suppose. And I was able to take those feelings and bring it into this world and make myself stronger, make myself feel more confident that I could actually do things, that I could actually make things happen, not just for myself, but for others as well. And that's what I want this world that I've created to do for other people. I want to open the gates. I want people to walk into it. And I want them to feel that same level of power and confidence that I felt. There are honestly times when I look back at some of my old work and I read over it and I think to myself, did I write this? And I have to keep reminding myself, yeah, Jay, you wrote this. This was all you. You wrote this. You built this entire existence, this entire omniverse. And truth be told, I'll probably have to touch on that another time, but it was amazing to me that I was able to create this. I've been writing for 6 years now, and I gotta tell you, the fact that I was able to make all this, and I still got way more stuff, ideas to write, still surprises me to this day. And I want people to be able to enjoy it. I want to make people happy through my work, just like my heroes, my role models, the greatest writers in history were able to bring joy to the people's heart from their work, and I want to do the same for them. I want my readers to feel the same love, the bonds, and acceptance, and the same confidence and power that I feel when I write or when I read the books of my heroes. So I'd say that's probably how I feel. Thank you so much for listening, guys. It has been a real pleasure making this for you guys, and I'm really grateful that you guys stuck around to watch the end of all this. It was pretty challenging and pretty nerve wracking to actually show my face and be on camera like this. Um, I have a bunch of new books available on Barnes& and Noble right now. They are in the description below, and I will be coming out with many more books from now until forever, pretty much. I've got a lot of more books, like I said, in the works, and they are all coming out as soon as possible. Thank you so much for you guys, and remember, believe in yourself, believe in yourself, believe in yourself. No one can tell you what to do with your life. Take hold of your destiny, and remember, I have a story for everyone, no matter who you are, despite of race, age, gender, no matter what you are. I have a story for you, and I bet you're going to love it. Thank you so much, guys. See you later.